Okay, let's add a new stitch to our hoop. We're going to learn link stitch today, and I'm going to be using this purl number 8 thread. It comes in these little balls like this. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. Okay, so I've just cut a bit off and I've threaded it onto a needle, tied a knot in the end and trimmed it as usual. Okay, so I'm going to take your hoop, bring your needle up through the fabric, and basically what we need to do with our thread is we're going to create a little loop. Okay, so I'm going to use my thumb here just to keep hold of that thread there. Now you're going to push your needle back through really close to where it came up through the fabric. Okay, pull it through there and you'll see that I've still got hold of the end of it, so it's creating a loop. Now I'm going to bring my needle back through where I want the bottom of the loop to be. I gently pull here, you'll see, there we go, it's created a little link there. And now we just need to secure it in position with what's known as a tie stitch. This is a very small stitch to just keep that loop in place. And there we go, one link. It's looking good from the side there. Okay, so let's do another one. I'm just going to do it over to the left here. So needle through the fabric, again I'm going to just hold it to one side of my thumb there, push your needle back through the fabric really close to where the thread first came out, bring it back up through where you want the bottom of the link to be, and then secure it with a really small tie stitch. So you're just making sure that the thread goes over the bottom of that loop to secure it in position. Right, looks a bit like a sad face there, doesn't it? I might do another one, see if we can make it look slightly less sad. Okay, so just while I'm doing this, just to tell you a little bit more about the purl thread. Purl number 8 is the same thickness as 3 strands of standard embroidery floss, but the way they make it, basically they spin it really fast so that it makes one strand that doesn't come apart. So it's quite handy for link stitches. I'm just going to tie off at the back really carefully here. Don't pull too tightly because you don't want to pull your links out of shape. You can readjust them a little bit, but once you've pulled and tied that knot, there'll be less wiggle room to do that. Trim off the end and we'll turn that over and have a little look. There we go. Okay, so the great thing about link stitches is that you can join them together. We can use the single ones like this for leaves or little decorative edges, that kind of thing. But if you join a few of them together, you can make what's known as a lazy daisy stitch, which is a really recognisable hand embroidery stitch. If you think tablecloths. Okay, I'm going to put one in this gap here, where we left that nice gap from where we did the straight stitches. Okay, so bring your needle up through the fabric. You're going to make your first link stitch just like we did before. Okay, so I'm going to make them slightly smaller here. If you come up through the fabric and your needle isn't in the middle of that loop, don't worry, you can just do what I did there, which is move it to one side so that you're able to make that little tie stitch. There we go. Now, for the lazy daisy, you're going to come up really close to where that first link stitch appeared. If you can get it in exactly the same place, great. If it's just next to it, that's also great, because we're going to have a few stitches here to join up to make the middle of the flower anyway. Okay, so you can see that I've just come up through the fabric a little bit further to the left, and now I've got those 2 link stitches there that are joined in the middle. Turn hoop around and keep going. Normally with the lazy daisy I do 5 petals, so 5 link stitches. You can do more if you want to. If you want to do 6, that's fine. 5 always just feels like a nice number to me. Feels kind of comfortable, like they all sort of fit in. Now I'm doing this freestyle as ever because that's usually how I do things. If you want to, you could use like a really light pencil or an air erasable pen if you've got one. If you wanted to sort of draw it on a little bit more so that you're aiming for something. An air erasable pen would be great for this because obviously it disappears. So by the time the ink's disappeared and all your petals are stitched, you won't see it anymore. And so that's a really great tool for this. So do draw something on, whether that's dots or you want to draw full petals or whatever. If you find that easier, then please feel free to do that. And there we go. That's our lovely little lazy daisy stitch. Now, tying off at the back, remember, don't pull too tightly. We don't want to pull those links out of shape in any way. Just be really, really gentle. Double knot it. Oops, take the scissors, trim the excess. And there we go.